welcome to Liquid Lunch. We're coming at you live. It's Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. It's me, Hugh, and I have a surprise co-host, at least for the beginning of the show today. Ravel is here joining us on the show, right, Ravel?
Hey! It's been a while. Oh, this is weird, seeing myself
see?
up there.
We have the big world behind us up there.
That is so weird.
Okay, don't worry about it. Just pretend you're not on TV.
Okay, good.
That's
Hi,
the secret.
Hugh. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Now we have Jeff Gunn going to come on in a minute, but before we bring Jeff on the show, I just want to say who else is coming on the show today. Derek Forgy is coming on from MTV.
Oh yeah, Derek. Okay.
Carl Langschmidt is coming on.
Okay, Carl the design. No, that's not the designer. Carl.
No, I think we're talking about real estate with Carl.
Real estate, yes. Okay.
Hunter Williamson will be coming on the show. What's he
That's
talking about today?
Hunter Williams, the designer. He's great. Awesome.
He's an astrologer too.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's into antiques.
He knows his antiques, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we might get to see a few of those.
We always have fun when Hunter's on the show. So looking forward to that. Also, Mike from Active Surplus is coming on that show. And of course, we built this TV station with stuff from Active Surplus.
Of course. We build everything with stuff from Active Surplus. They're the best.
Rubber
Did you know
bands.
they're started out as a family business?
They kind of feel like a family business when I go in there. So I get all my cool stuff there. And so we're looking forward to that coming up. But we're going to start the show off with Jeff Gunn. Jeff is a musician, author, and activist. And Jeff, what's this book that you wrote, the Hidden Sounds book?
Yeah, so basically it's a 4-part series, and it's the result of traveling the world for about 6 years, kind of nonstop, and picking up different music stylings along the way, and kind of developing my own voice as well. Mm-hmm. And basically took about 4.5 years to write. And there's book 1, 2, 3, and 4. And book 1 is basically about developing like a musical vocabulary. Book 2 is about what we learn through imitating the sounds of other instruments on the guitar. Mm-hmm. For example, what we can take from, say, imitating the kora from West Africa, or even the DJ record scratch on guitar, and how we can develop rhythmic sensibilities from that. Book 3 is all about treating your guitar as a drum kit, and how to think of it as a, percussively speaking. And book 4 is for students, like if you're a high school, university student or something, and you're doing a research project and you want to know something about everything from Chinese to Arabic music theory, whatever. It's in there, and it's a reference book.
So they're all written now?
Yes.
They're all available,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all available, yeah.
And you're going on this tour literally across the country.
Yeah.
Starting in Toronto and then heading west and then heading east again in the fall.
Yes.
What is the tour all about? And for people all across the country who want to come and see, what can they gain from it?
Sure. Well, the tour is called the Hidden Sounds, Hidden Self Tour. Mm-hmm. So if you come out to the event, I'm going to talk not only about the books I just mentioned to you and the lessons learned from doing really cool techniques like artificial harmonics and thinking about positioning and thinking about imitating other instruments on the guitar, but you also learn what it means to be a musician in society and all the avenues that you have beyond playing live. For example, maybe writing for magazines, how you can go about getting things like endorsements, how you can use music to share your ideas not only on the stage but in the form of writing as well, and all these different things. Yeah. So you're going to come out and it's going to be really inspiring, and there's prize giveaways as well from everyone from Dario Canada, which is an amazing guitar string company, to Godin Guitars, which is the one I love to play, and Plan Canada as well too, who I'm very involved with in educational projects, making sure that kids have the opportunity to go to school in different parts of the world as well. So they've also donated some prize giveaways. Yeah.
Okay, so let's find out a little bit about you. Like, how did you get into this? You're from Toronto.
Yes,
right?
well, originally from Oshawa, actually. It's my hometown. I moved to Toronto. I was about 19.
Oh, and that's where the first event is on the tour. Is it actually in Oshawa, right?
Yeah, and I wanted it to be, just because that's where the genesis of the whole music career started.
Yeah.
When I was about 14 years old, I started playing.
So that's great. So now, because what you're talking about, it sounds like, a lot of people, when they want to take an instrument, they might get a teacher who just teaches them and stuff like that. But a lot of people, sometimes they just pick up an instrument and they learn their own way around the instrument.
Yes.
And some of the greatest players have their own unique style because nobody taught them the right way to do it.
Sure.
Right?
Gotcha, yeah.
So what's your story? Like, how did you start?
Well, my story is I started by learning by ear, and it was early 90s, and I remember the first album I lifted by ear completely was Nirvana's Nevermind, just by listening by ear and figuring out the chords and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, I wanted to learn all the theory a few years later, and got into jazz music and classical and all kinds of stuff. And then at the age of 24, I had the chance pretty much to travel around the world nonstop for 6 years, and that's when I immersed myself in all these other styles out there. And now I've kind of developed my own unique style, I would say, with borrowing some things here and there, but also developing it from experience. Now, there's a lot of great books out there already, and this series is meant to, it was written like a novel. I wanted it to be. I'm a writer as well, so I wanted it to be almost like picking up a novel like Lord of the Rings or something. That you're going to learn the guitar in a very creative way, and not just here's a scale, go do it kind of thing. There's enough of those books out there that you could get. This one kind of works in between genres almost, and that's how I'm going to present it as well when we go through the tour. Now we've had the opportunity. When I say we, I mean my publisher and I, Mayfair Music, have had the opportunity to deliver a few seminars and workshops at Long McQuaid already, and places like Humber College and Indigo Books as well. And so it's been fine-tuned over the last 6 months to a year, and we're really excited to take it on the road and encourage students. And this is the thing. It's for the beginner who's never played before, who wants to come out and here's the chord, here's basic C major chord that you can learn on the guitar. But it's also for the veteran who's played for 20 years, getting them to rethink maybe lessons learned and old approaches to the guitar in a fresh way. That's what we really want to do. Yeah.
Interesting. And we think about, actually I have a guitar player friend of mine. He's been around for a while. He's been playing guitar for a long time, but he's all excited because now he's figured out how Keith Richards actually did it.
Okay.
On a few songs. And Keith Richards is one of those guys that kind of figured out how to play the guitar his own way.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So actually, do you want to play us a little song?
Yeah,
you brought your guitar here, and maybe we can just have a little taste of this, and then we'll come back and chat a little bit more.
Sure.
Hey, Jeff, I'd love to hear that guitar strumming song. That would be great.
Yeah, sure.
He uses his guitar as a percussion as well. I like that.
Well, what I'll do is, once I get this thing on here, is I will, I'm going to play a song called Candle Lanterns. And it uses, for the guitar set there, it uses a technique that we'll cover in the workshops called artificial harmonics, and it gives a really celestial kind of sound to the guitar. And this particular song was written after a trip to Thailand. There's a festival they have every year where they launch off thousands of candle lanterns into the sky at night, and it's just a beautiful sight. So this song was meant to capture that moment, and it's been featured in magazines like Canadian Musician and the Guitar Mag as well, I might add, in Thailand, who I write for as well. And that's Candle Lanterns.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. It sounds like, it doesn't even sound like
Thank
guitar.
you.
It sounds like a koto.
That is so incredibly beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you for gracing us with that.
My pleasure.
I mean, it sounds like you're duplicating not just another, like it sounds like another instrument, not a guitar, and of course you're bringing really that culture out with that music.
And I want to say one thing too is that when you discover these kinds of sounds, which I hope to inspire other guitarists to make their own discoveries on the guitar, is that this is not just for the solo guitarist. When I play with various hip-hop artists like Emmanuel Jal or my friend K-Sun in town, I also bring these to that type of pop music scene. These sounds in a unique way. One thing I love to do when I play is I want the guitar sit there to think, how the heck is he getting that sound of that instrument, you know? And so I always try to be as creative as possible, even in a pop setting where it's suitable to do so, and bring these types of unique sounds to the table. So.
Well, I think, I don't know, to me it's like sometimes it's the sound itself that inspires the song to be written. Sometimes a song can be based all around a particular sound.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not just the notes. You can't just play those notes on any instrument or any sound.
Yeah.
So now what are you hoping to, what's your ultimate goal really with your work as a guitar player? Yeah. But also your work as a writer, your work as an activist?
Okay. Well,
because I see you have I Can End Poverty on your guitar.
Yes.
Now the War Child. Would you talk about that project, the War Child
Association? Sure.
Yeah, and the artist who's writing the song about that. That's very impressive.
Well, basically, it all comes back to this sticker here. I got this sticker when the first show I ever played with Emmanuel Jal, who's my the artist that I've been working with the last 4 years. We went to the World Bank and we played a show, and it was basically a conference empowering women in different countries like Afghanistan, and it was politically charged conference, and we performed at it, and that's where I got that sticker. And it reminded me not only of the first show we did together, but also of the role that musicians can have in different forms of activism. Beyond striving for such, there's a lot more that we can do than simply striving to be famous, for example. And there's something we can do along the way that can contribute to society. So that's why I keep it there. And I believe that the money raised through shows and concerts can also go to not only shedding a light on different, I guess you could say, initiatives, if it's providing kids with education that don't have that opportunity, or basically literally giving some of the funds to those causes. So that's part of it. Now it's the activist part, where I'm part of an organization called Alliance Against Modern Slavery. And what we do is we act as a mediator between, we have a curriculum package developed, which has been implemented in Manitoba, and we're hoping to get in schools all across Canada, basically, where kids can learn about modern forms of servitude and slavery and things like this that are still ongoing issues in the world. So my goal with that is to continue to work with Carly Sapoznik, who's the founder of the organization, and make it blossom into something even bigger. Eventually getting this curriculum package into high schools and elementary schools across Canada. As an author, I got 3 new books that are coming out in the next year or two that are just finishing up and have been working on. So I've got 5 out so far.
What are those books?
Those books are 2 of them are music based, and they're going to be basically a type of like a quick reference for guitarists, not quite as long and as the Hidden Sound series, a lot shorter and straight to the point, I guess you could say. We have some ideas about developing those into an app as well. And also I might add that the other book is going to be more of I'm working with a photographer named Darren Davis, who's a wonderful photographer, and we're collaborating on a project together, which is going to be still a music book and focused on guitars, but a lot more visual imagery through photography as well too. Now, as a musician, my goal is there just to continue. I've been very lucky the last few years to have lived a lot of the childhood dreams. That playing in stadiums and arenas and playing for big audiences and opening for some of my heroes like Peter Gabriel, Kanon in Canada, who's one of my favorite hip hop artists, as well as sharing the stage with people like. Another artist, Alicia Keys' husband, Swiss Beats, shared the stage with Emmanuel Jal and I at a show when we performed for the Dalai Lama, which was a pretty good show actually, and an honor to play there. So yeah, career-wise in music, still want to keep playing bigger and bigger shows, looking to do the bigger tours as well too.
Like when you play as just a musician,
yeah,
not in support of a book or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a band or do you play solo or?
Well, I kind of regard myself as a freelance musician, so I'll hire myself out. Mostly I work with Emmanuel Jal and Case Son are the two guys I've been working with for a while now, but I'm also open to working with other artists as well. There's kind of that side of being a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the my own music, like the song I just shared with you, more instrumental guitar that I want to pursue to a greater level as well too.
Now, is there a CD or CDs out that people can get their hands on?
Well, I've contributed to a lot of different CDs, but as far as my own material, I'm still developing this album. I wanted to put the book series out first. And I wanted to share those different sounds that one can find through these exploring the guitar. And eventually, I'm working on. I've got about 7 songs done, instrumental, that I do want to release something. Yes, along the lines of, as you mentioned, Ewan Dobson and one of my other heroes, Andy McKee, as well.
Yeah.
He's a great guitar player. People who like that kind of stuff might like the kind of guitar music that I would put out as well. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so.
Very cool. Okay, so. Starting May the 1st in Oshawa, and then in Toronto on the 8th, Brampton on the 6th, and then what's the next stop after that?
We're going to Winnipeg on May the 10th, and then I got some in Saskatoon, a couple dates in Edmonton, Calgary, and then Vancouver, and then finishing off in Victoria.
Great. Well, hopefully it'll stop snowing in Saskatoon.
I hope so.
And then people out east they'll have to wait till the fall, I guess, right?
Yes, we're planning a second leg in the fall.
Okay.
And we'll be going out to all the way out to Newfoundland as well. So
great. So, and again, for people in any of those cities or who can get to any of those cities over this year, who are the people that should ideally think about coming out and checking it out?
Anyone who's passionate about music, not only like beginner guitarists and veterans, as I mentioned, but also someone who's just curious about, hey, this is a really interesting approach to guitar performance. And I'll be sharing some stories as well, too, and there's a Q&A at the end. So anyone can fire any kinds of questions they want beyond the series itself as well. When it comes to, how do you go about writing for a magazine, or how do you go about getting an endorsement on something, as far as strings or guitar goes.
I have a question. This the hidden sounds method.
Yes.
Are you using that in all your workshops, and is it helping people to find that hidden sound of their own?
Sure. Well, we've got some really good response so far, and on the poster that we've launched, you'll see some of the feedback from other guitar players who have taken up the series, and it's really exciting, to get that kind of feedback from other guitar players who've played for a long time. And one of the things that keeps coming up is a fresh approach to learning the guitar. And this is all about empowerment of the individual, and all about, yes, it's very viable to learn the fact that, a C chord is made up of, the notes it's made up of, but at the same time, too, it's going by the ear and listening to the sound of it and letting that dictate how you're going to write your songs, and then maybe understanding the theoretical part after. That's the kind of approach that I endorse.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And one thing I've noticed, a lot of people, when they learn formally music, it's all from their head.
Yeah.
Whereas people who tend to learn by ear, they're playing more from their heart.
Yes. Well, you know what? That's a good point. The one thing that happened to me was, which I had to kind of really learn. I did go to school for music, and it was a wonderful program, and I had some great teachers. But I will say that in my 20s, when I started traveling a lot, I kind of rediscovered. It's almost like I let go of all of that theory and all of that knowledge put on the back burner, and just let my ear guide the way. So if I was writing a song, I'd say, well, this chord to this chord, this works brilliantly. So I'm going to use this because I like it. It's emotional. It's what I want. Yeah. And then later on, where the theory comes in is that, okay, I could actually go to this chord to add something here, or I could play this melody that works. So that's where it comes in handy, I find. Yeah. Whereas I always let the sound and the emotion guide me in the writing, be it solo guitar, or be it working with someone like Emmanuel Jal that I'm currently recording with for his next album. So.
Right. Okay, awesome. So people in Toronto, if they want to come and see you, or Oshawa, Brampton, or any of those other cities, do they need tickets, or how do
No, it's free. It's free. So you just show up, bring your guitars. There's going to be prize giveaways. So if you come out and I pick you to come up to be with me, or you volunteer, then get a prize T-shirt made from Guataka Tees, or D'Addario, Godin, all these brims as well too. Makes these nice
You're
bracelets.
endorsing all of these, aren't you?
Yeah, they've all
the
contributed.
The Dario strings are like really popular. I like those ones.
Yes, and they're a wonderful company, and they've been really. It's a nice chance to for them to be part of it as well too. I was going to say that they can visit my website, which is jeffgunn.ca, and all the events are listed there. That's one way they can reach out. They can reach out to their local Long and McQuaid store, or some of the other ones. We also have Indigo that's being a part of it, and some other independent music stores as well, which you can find on the on my website, the events, as well as at Long and McQuaid. So you can contact your local Long and McQuaid and see if they're what time the event will take place.
Okay, fantastic. So jeffgunn.ca for more information, and people all over the country get a chance to see you and learn in person, but also get their hands on the book or one of the books. Right?
Go to the workshop. I'm gonna go.
Thank you.
May 8th, right here in Toronto.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, Jeff. Great to meet you. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
All the best on this tour.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Jeff.
And in fact, we got a video now. Actually, we're going to hear that song again. It's always better the second time. Not that it wasn't great the first time. So it's Candle
Lanterns.
Candle Lanterns again. And we're going to come back with Derek Forgy as Liquid Lunch continues.
Yay! Oh, I love how your music flows.